Well, here we are. Hello, good morning, welcome. We're back in SNRF country. Not a lot has happened in the last couple weeks. I'm just short of 3 weeks. Had a chance to sneak up here, so I thought I would check these cameras and refresh the batteries and all that. Obviously, pretty excited to see if anybody showed up at this camera check, because I know we're in a good spot. I feel like this is where eventually I'll get the photo. So kind of excited driving up. I was just thinking about the amount of time and effort and hours and drives up that same road. One day I'm gonna come up here and find the photo, you know, and that will be sweet. Could be today, but in all likelihood, probably won't. Still got some snow on the ground. It's overcast. We've had thunderstorms. I think there have been a couple of snowfalls up here in this elevation. Kind of summer hail, you know, brief snow, kind of thunderstorm stuff. So we'll see if the camera's picked any of that up. Otherwise, no major developments to speak of. I just want to get up here and see if anything's on these cameras and put some new batteries, memory cards, and everything. Make sure everything's working and see what we got. So let's get up there. I had a cool run-in with a marmot on the way up. It was right next to the road and just kind of picking in the ground, like rooting around for food. And I went to the next turnout, turned around, went back. He was still there. I went right past him to the next turnaround, whipped around, parked, and walked back up, and he was still there. And took a bunch of photos and finally left him still there. So hanging out, man, doing marmot stuff. That was kind of fun. All right, first stop is the trail cam lashed to that rock, so camera trap's over there. This guy's looking up the hill. Let me set all my stuff down and we'll see if that picked up anything. All right. Flip that guy on here. It's a Cam Park trail cam. Battery looks good. Replay 199 videos. So I'll flip through. That's probably me showing up. There's got to be some wind triggers and stuff in there. Seeing some snow patches fairly recently. So you probably can't see any of that. I'll flip through them and let you know. As usual, right? All right. Nothing too exciting. It's kind of weird. I was seeing a lot of daylight clips that looked exactly the same, and I was figuring wind triggers. And so I was playing like every 10th one kind of as I flipped through, and I wasn't seeing a lot of movement in the tree branches and stuff. Being on the ground like this, insects can trip it, and that could have happened. I'm not seeing, you know, ants and stuff sitting here, but there was one nighttime clip that was way back, like number 8 out of 199. Couldn't see anything on that. I played it and didn't see anything on the edges. Sometimes you throw it on the computer and, you know, movement is a whole lot more clear. So we'll throw that on and see, but otherwise I got to get them on the computer and see what I think was tripping it. But it wasn't, you know, if it was like a big windstorm, it would normally, you know, there'd be 300 or 400 videos and they would all be the same day. And this was going back multiple days, and my guy was functioning normally, but couldn't see what was triggering it. So some kind of movement in a stick or a branch or something probably. But I'm going to check my other stuff, and then there's an area kind of up that way that I've been wanting to check out, looking at it on Google Maps. It's out of the wilderness, I mean out of the non-wilderness, so I can't put cameras there, but I have a little bit of time today. I wanted to try to get a little hike in and look at this little rocky outcropping that seems very interesting on Google Earth at least. So check these other cameras and we'll head up that way. All right, trail cam number 2. Remember, this one's looking right over here where we have had activity before, right? So there is a couple interesting little marks in the ground right in front of it. This could be just a squirrel digging or something, but maybe something else. All right, 36 videos on that guy. Whoa, that looked like a fox. I think that was a fox. And it probably, I think it was coming right at us maybe. Man, looking forward to getting that on the computer. It was kind of coming this way, and probably heard this camera click. Kind of jumped a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it was just coming down from a portrait session, a mere, you know, 20 feet away. Who knows? We'll know in a minute. Just walking by, man. That's another clip. Probably the same one. This thing was walking like right in front of this camera that way. Just passing through right here. Obviously I'm getting pumped to go look at those cameras, but if nothing is on the camera trap cameras, I'm already, that's 2 clips here. Like I'm already thinking, well shoot, let's put a camera over there looking back, you know, this way. I mean, I want my epic backdrop photo, but I also want a photo, you know. Look at that, this guy's right next to the camera, man. You can see some squirrel action there. I mean, I'll have to go through a lot of these, but get that on the computer. Only one thing left to do, we got to check out the camera traps. Kind of want to see if we're still tripping. So I'm just going to walk it like I'm a fox. No triggers there. That's not good. And no triggers there. Shoot. Bad sign. So we'll see if we got a bunch of wind or something killing batteries. I have all the batteries and stuff to get everything working. Those Fox clips were early in the 30 clips on that camera, so the hope would be we got a shot before the batteries died, right? All right, we'll start with this guy. All Camera battery's good. Okay, that just took my photo walking up. So I did trip. So it triggered, but the flashes are dead. So probably the battery's in the flash receiver or in the trigger at the camera. So that's good. That means we're right at the tail end of battery life. But there's a nighttime shot with no flashes, so that's no good. 1,802 photos. That's why the batteries are dead. I'll rifle through them. This is boring TV, but 1,800 photos on there will kill the batteries and the receivers for sure. So functioning normally, that's a relief. But definitely some wind triggers or something. But maybe in the mix, we have some magic. Some birds and squirrels, you know, the usual suspects so far. There's been some amazing clouds and thunderstorm skyline kind of photos. Great light in a lot of these. Again, I'm seeing a lot of triggers and what does not look like a lot of wind. I mean, there is a little golden mantled ground squirrel that is tearing this place apart, so very possible that, you know, he's tripping it. Okay, here's something. Okay, we got a maybe fox. It could be a marmot really close to the camera. It's very dark. There's no flashes. Good chance that a SNRF walked right in front of that camera in pretty cool light with no flashes. Like a cool background, but a very dark foreground. Hard to even tell what it is. I'll brighten it up on the computer. Out of the focus plane anyway. So it wasn't the money shot, but I think we got another fox possibly on the camera here. It's crazy. Okay, pause the video. I'm at home now looking at this footage on the computer, and I'm seeing the last thing I would have expected. But when you look at this image, you see a reddish, shaggy critter in the dark right in front of the camera. And what else could it be, right? But when you brighten up the shadows, you see kind of the last thing I would have expected, and that is a little shaggy bear running by or walking by this camera. So this is not a SNRF, which means that other clip on the trail cam is also probably the same bear. And that just leaves the one other clip on the trail camera with the animal walking right in front of the camera. That looks like the same coloration. That's probably the same bear. I swear I'm seeing a long tail on that one sometimes when I look at it, but it might just be the back leg on that bear also. So I am having to eat crow a little bit here, but I do not think we are looking at SNRF footage anywhere, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. Couple more nighttime shots. Now the flashes are firing as we go back in time. I don't know if you remember last year we were getting some bats. I think it could be that. A couple of what look like little flying critters. All right, the other cam. Looking there. I mean, that would be cool. Let's pull it out. All right, this thing had, it has 2,500 photos on it and a dead camera battery. That means wind triggers, which is weird because that flash is pointing at the sky, man. There's no trees in front of it, but it's picking something up. I'll flip through them. This is gonna take a while, but I'll let you know. I don't know what could be tripping that. I'll turn down the sensitivity already just based on that number. I'll turn that trigger down. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff we don't want. But in that, again, it's functioning properly, so could be one we want. All right, lots of wind triggers on this camera, and it's irritating because when I set it up, the wind was blowing, and I sat here and watched it and made sure it wasn't tripping. All I can think of is maybe the triggers here, maybe these branches above it in a heavier wind are moving more than they were when I set it up, and they're causing it to trip. So I'll adjust that. I mean, I got a week and a half probably out of that camera looking at the date stamps, but there's just huge blocks of, you know, like the same hour-long period of just the camera's just firing. So I'll turn the sensitivity down and play with that trigger placement, but I think I'll leave it here. Kind of a cool composition. I got a couple interesting photos of a bird at night. I think it was a Clark's nutcracker. I'm not sure, but I'll be able to tell on the computer. Couple cool shots, you know, squirrels, the usual, but no fox action on this camera, which should be the norm, right? You shouldn't expect a fox, but there you go. I do think that the composition of this photo here is worth leaving the camera here. You know, I was talking about putting one down there in the kind of low spot, but just based on that one clip on the trail cam, it's a tough call, but this will be a better photo. So you got to go for the photo that you want, right? Not just a photo, the best photo. So this is a better crack at a good photo. So I'm gonna leave both camera traps. Okay, you're my witnesses here. We're recharged. We got batteries in all the things. Camera's here. I moved the trigger. I tucked it. Look at these branches right now. Wind's blowing. Nothing's firing. All right. Trigger is under the rock back there, and it's tripping perfectly when I walk it, and I can shake these guys and it does not trip. I think that's what it was. I think it was the branches of that bush that were causing it to fire. So assuming that was it, we should be good. I also turned down the sensitivity a little bit more even on that trigger. So it fires perfect when I walk it right to the top of this hill. Boom, I'm getting flashed right now. So seems like the best protection from the wind I can come up with. Should be good. I'll keep an eye on it while I'm putting batteries in the other one. All right, camera one, we are back in action. New batteries and everything. This trigger, man, there's just not much to do with it to get it out of the potential wind zone. This little bush is the only thing I can think of, and then the trees in the background moving, which is probably what was triggering it this time when it was false triggering. It did pretty good, but there were false triggers, so I lowered the sensitivity on it some more. I've walked it a few times. It's triggering good. When you're coming this way, right when you hop up on that rock, it fires, and then coming this way, just past the bush here, it starts firing. So it's right what we want. I'm gonna go on a little walk, go up and look at a spot I've wanted to look at for a while. So we'll mosey on up there and see what we can see. But we're all set here for another little couple weeks. Not much else we can do. Whew. That's some snow. That's like 4 or 5 feet of snow in that one spot. That's a trip. I just saw a marmot dive in there. Might have been there, but I wasn't quick enough with the camera. That's a 2 marmot day, man. Those guys are out and about. Yeehaw. So this is a natural bowl. This little body of water is on the map, and I've always kind of wanted to check it out. My hunch was if critters were around, they'd be, you know, drinking in it, and it's a water source late into the season. And look at this. That's a lot of foot traffic, man. I want to be sitting right here like at 5 in the morning one of these days. Seeing what I can see down there. Pretty awesome. So this is well outside of the non-wilderness. It's over the wilderness boundary. So I can't put any cameras down there. But I could hike up here and spend some time, you know, especially late season when there really isn't any more water to be found this high up. This would definitely be a hot spot.